This conference will now be recorded.
And that too, I'm facing a lot of network issue here. So shall I start, guys?
Yep.
Yes, Sujit.
Okay. What we discussed in the last session?
How to consume the SOAP web service.
How many of you practiced the task which I have given? How many of you completed? At least I can see some efforts from Shrikant. He just showed me the screen. Appreciated that. And how many of you are start practicing on completed the task till now, whatever I given?
Yeah, I finished it, Sujit.
Sushmita, right?
Yep.
Okay. Mitaku?
Yes, of course. We did. I did.
Okay. Okay. You just tried what I said, or else you think out of the box and you tried else as well. Guys,
I tried.
just
I
follow
tried.
my.
Yeah, I tried add the product flow also, Sujit.
Okay. Okay. And followed my document, everyone.
Yes.
What is the
Yes,
learning
we did.
process? Just only not seeing the video. First see the video, then open the document, take it as a requirement, and try to practice based on the record, based on the document. Okay. Don't follow the recording parallelly. Don't do that. Never ever you remember that. If you follow that process, first watch the video, keep that knowledge, then use that knowledge while you are reading the document and practice it. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about database module. So by using a database module, how we are going to connect with the database and how that connection can be used across the project, and how to externalize that properties, and how to. So today I am not going to talk about securing, just till externalization we are discussing about that, right? So first, how many of you are installed MySQL on your machine, as I told yesterday?
Yeah, I have Jamp installed.
Which one?
Jamp is MySQL is part of that.
Okay, but you have MySQL on your machine. Which is the
Yes.
version?
Yes.
Which version you are using?
I need to check that.
Yeah, what about others?
Yeah, Sujit, I installed it.
Which version?
The one you have given
19.
8.19.
8.0.19, correct? Okay.
Yes.
What about others? No one installed?
Sujit, for me, my shell it is coming. In command prompt it is opening.
Shell is also part of that one product. That's it.
Okay,
MySQL. All the products you need to install, as I said yesterday.
MySQL workbench, that one only,
Yes.
right?
That is also one product.
Okay.
MySQL server is one product. Go with the developer. It will ask you whether I want to go with the developer or any other. Please go with the developer and you try to install. That's why I said please watch some YouTube video in process, in order, so that you will understand what the sequential order. Okay. Okay. So we required some server. I installed MySQL on my machine. Now how you will check whether it is running on your machine or not? Just check the services. Go to the run and just check the services.msc. It will show what and all are the services present are running on your machine. So these are all the services running on my machine. So I'm just checking for a MySQL. Yeah, I have a MySQL. So by default, you will be having in your services MySQL 80. Okay. While installing, it will ask you whether you want to install it manually or automatic. You want to select an option as manual or automatic. What do you mean by that? Manual means you need to start your server manually whenever you require. Automatic means whenever your machine starts, automatically your server also will be started. So first time you can see when I installed with the manual option. If you want to start it, right click on this, start the server. This is a backend server actually, right? And MySQL server, I have changed the name to demonstration purpose. This time I selected automatic. Whenever my machine start, automatically it is started and running. If you want to stop it, right click on that, you can stop it. Okay. Now backend server is created, right? So let me draw the picture. I have MySQL backend server. Okay. Now assume that we have some tables in this, and table contains some data. Now I want to fetch the details present in this table. Assume that this is a product table. What is the query we can write and where we can write a query?
Select a
I
star
want
from
to-
products.
Hmm?
Select star from product.
Where you will write query? Where you will write that query? Select. Select is used for what? Basic
For
understanding
getting
of MySQL also required here. Select to read the data. Star reference or from.
Table name.
In this
where
MySQL, we have multiple schemas. Right? Just you need to give the schema name also if you have, or else directly you can give the product name also. Okay, product. But where we write this query?
database.
In database directly you will write. Are you able to see the database?
No, we need to insert it.
No.
Maybe database connector.
Editor will be there.
Editor, what is that? Normally you can use the command prompt for that. MySQL is having some editors like Workbench. Have you seen the product called Workbench? While you are installing MySQL server, it will ask you to install the Workbench
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Yes.
It will give a server option and a Workbench option also. Other than that, you can use one more. SQL Yog. Either of the one you can use.
Yeah, there
Right?
are so many.
Yeah,
Debugger.
many. So we will go with the Workbench. It's a very beautiful UI. Okay, to understand, to use it. Okay, so this is a different product. This is a backend server. So whatever the query you return, it should fetch the details from the backend server. So we need to establish a connection between these two. That's why I said yesterday to remember the port number and what is the username and what is the password while installing you have given. Based on this information, we are going to establish a connection. Right? This is a backend server and this is a front end UI. Can I call this as a front end UI? Yes,
Yes.
of my backend server. Yes or no? Where I can write a queries and where I can see the data, where I can write, insert query, delete query, whatever the query you want. See, we are not concentrating on a queries here in this. This session is not about in Mule. We are not finding a queries, right? Writing a queries, not concentrating on that. We are going to write the simple queries only. But the point is how to establish a connection between your server database server and with your Mule application. Instead of Workbench, how my Mule application is going to establish a connections and where you are going to write a query. Mule is totally about a connections, right? So we are not concentrating on a queries. If you have some knowledge on that, you need to work on that, you need to explore, right? So enough of theory. Now, is my backend server is running or not? It is running, right? I started automatically, it is running, right? Now I want some data to play with. If you want to write a query or if you want to retrieve the data, I want some data to be present in that backend server, right? So what is the data I can give? I can see in my training program, I may have people who are not from a IT background even. So for them, I created one SQL query text. That means you can see here, Mule training DB is my database schema name, right? SQL text file. Let me open this text file with a Node+. So while you're creating a table or inserting the data into that, the queries will be same for all the vendors. Yes, no. Yes, no.
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 different requirement we need.
No, if you want to create a table, okay, with the same data, same requirement, in MySQL and Oracle, example, the two vendors are having the same set of questions, same set of format.
Don't know.
Yeah, no one aware.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay, no multitasking, Shrikant. Concentrate here. So the question is the query. What if you want to create a table? Okay, in MySQL and Oracle, will you be following the same structure? Same query?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's almost same, but
Yes.
there will be minor differences when you are
Yeah,
adding primary keys and
exactly. See, basically the parameters, the properties will be different. Correct? For the column. Here may be the big int, there may be the int. Right? Here may be the varchar, there may be the char. That is the difference in the size and everything, right? So basically the RDBMS, the SQL language is same, right? But every vendor to vendor, it will differ in the properties. So right now I'm using MySQL. That's why I created some queries here. You can see, just to save some time, okay, I created this one. If you want to use your own, you can use your own as well. Okay, create is a key. Okay, create a database. If not exist, what is the database name I'm giving?
Mule training DB.
Mule training video. Guys, please respond. What happened? Mule training DB. Use that mule training DB. Okay. Next, drop table if exist. What is the table?
Product.
Product is the table name, right? And if it is not available, it will create a table, product table, and I'm giving some columns. Okay, for that column I have given a name, product ID, brand name, description. See, you should have some knowledge on that in order to understand what is a primary key and all, right? So I have created some table here, and for that table in that columns I want to insert some values. Insert into product table. What are the values under these columns? I am inserting some product details, right? So how many product details I'm inserting here? If you scroll the right side, on the right side, how many products I'm inserting? Total
6.
6 product details. Okay. So if you want to work on the second one, you can work on that. Right now I'm concentrating on the first table, right? So where I need to run all these queries, where I can write all these queries in order to
Workbench.
create a table,
Workbench.
whatever I have written.
Workbench.
Yeah, you need to install a workbench. So I already installed. If you're already installed, just go and click on a search button and just type workbench. Yeah, it is already installed on my machine. Workbench 8 version only. Okay, don't go beyond this. Workbench 8. Okay, it will support all the versions of your Mule, in the backend server, right? Till from 8.0.17 to 8.0.23, anywhere you can use this workbench. So you already I pinged to my taskbar. Let me open that. So anyone here who already worked on that workbench?
No, I have not used Workbench. I have used other clients.
Okay. So much difference will not be there. Only look and feel same. So some small things will be different. So this is my welcome screen of the workbench,
Yeah,
right?
usually the UI comes with the XAMPP, so we don't need to install any client.
Okay. 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 So explicitly, if you want to use this is the welcome screen. This is how to install, right? And we need to, what I need to do, I need to establish a connection between the backend server with the workbench. So click on this connection. Just give the connection name and host and port. What is the port by default? So 3306. Username I have given a root and password you can store. And if you click on OK, before that, if you want to test the connection whether it is established or not, you can click on that test connection. Okay, I just clicked on OK, right? Instead of cancel. That's the reason it is asking me. Now I have already a connection. Please let me open that connection. Opening SQL editor. SQL editor means workbench only. So by default, whenever you open this, under this, we don't see Mule Training DB. Only we can see a admin account. That means this account, and you will be having a query one only. Okay, this is the what the welcome screen you see, right? Now, go to the text file which I have given to you. Copy all these commands and paste it in the query. Now, if you want to run only one command, what you can do, select that one, and we need to click on the execute button, right? Execute the selected portion of the script or everything. If there is no, I mean, if there is no selection, see, we can select this one and you can execute, or else if you want to run all the commands without selecting, just click on execute button. If you click on that execute button, one Mule Training DB will get created. Let me click on that again. Okay, now I created that one, right? One Mule Training DB on the left side, the schema will get created, the database. If you're not able to see, even after executing that, in this open space, right click on this, refresh all. It automatically, it will be populated. So Mule Training DB is the database name. Under that, I have two tables from the query. It got created. What are the table names? Product and product images. We are discussing about a product table, which contains in these columns and these values. So if you want to read what are the data present in this column, this product table, what is the query I need to fire? Yes, simple. In order to read the data present in the table,
Select a star from.
select star from Mule Training DB dot schema name. This is the schema name dot product table. So how many products I'm able to see here? Total actually 6 products only. Don't get confused here. I inserted some record into this for another batch. I'm just showing the insert command. So if you run that SQL text, you will be getting a 6 products because I have given only the 6 products in the values. Okay. Of course, in my database I have 7 products. Okay. Don't get confused over there. So this is how you will write a query and you can play with the data by using a workbench, right? The same thing what my workbench is doing, I want to do by using my Mule application. So let me import. Zero 01 database endpoint start project. Yes, this is my database endpoint. So my client is giving requirement like this. So in order to listen for this request, what is the first component I need to use? HTTP connected. Is it audible to all? Are we connected?
Yes.
Please
Yes,
respond,
yes.
guys. My
Yes.
GoToMeeting is
Yes,
creating
yes.
some problem.
Yes.
Network connection I have. If you respond, then only I can understand we are connected. Please respond. So let me call this. Of course, you know all the points, but it will help me. Database, right? Now, what is the module we are going to work on? Database module, right?
Database.
And
So
there is a
go to that.
connector for that.
Please add this database module to your project. I added. See, select, is it not an operation? Insert, is it not an operation?
Mhm.
Right? Stored procedure, bulk insert, bulk delete, all these are not done operations, right? If you have some knowledge on SQL, you better understand all this. All these are the operations. So this is called the modularity in Mule 4. By using any of that operation, basically this is called as a connector. By using any of the connector, we can establish a connection between your database and the Mule application. The same connection you can use across the connectors in the project. The same connection, because it is going to act as a global element, right? Now, how to create and how to establish a connection? I will take the select operation here. Select. I'm just dropping here. Yeah. So every connector will be having a connector configuration. Let me configure this. So what is the connection name? Explicitly Mule supports 4 database vendors like Derby, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, and Oracle
Postgres,
DB. No Postgres, Oracle
no
DB.
Postgres.
No,
Generic.
that is not popular.
Generic.
So if we need to connect the any other database, so we need to what we can do for that?
And just let me complete that. We can go with the generic connection. Okay, we
Okay.
can go with the generic connection. For that, you need to have your JDBC driver for that, right? Since
Okay.
it is supporting these 4 major vendors, so directly, what type of projects are my projects?
MySQL.
So you need to add that jar.
Yeah, what type of project, from where I can get the jar files as a connectors?
Yeah, it's in
The
the
drivers,
folder.
from where I can get that driver? Huh? What type
It's in
of
the
projects
folder.
are my projects? Maven. It's a Maven project, right? So from the Maven repository, you can fetch the related JDBC driver. What is the version I'm using? I am using 8.0.17 MySQL version. Related JDBC driver I require. So I need to configure that MySQL JDBC driver. Please add the required driver here. So how can I add it? Configure, add recommended libraries, or use local file. If you have your JDBC driver on your local file, you can use that. Add Maven dependency, or if you want to add that as a Maven dependency, you can search here. Right? So is it the structure to add any driver in the form.xml file in your Maven project?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to search in a central repository, just search with a keyword MySQL. Yeah, what is the, always it will give the latest version only. Please go ahead and click on finish. It will fetch the JDBC driver of MySQL to 8.0.23. If you hover the mouse onto that, you can see 8.0.23. What is my version? 17. So click on modify Maven dependency, or else you can remove also. I want to modify. Where I can modify? In the version 8.0.17. Automatically it will be updated here. Right, click on finish. Now it is successfully fetched 8.0.17. So what is the host?
Localhost
Localhost.
Localhost, very good. Port,
3306.
3306.
Use the
okay.
root,
Root.
Roots.
Okay.
password root.
If you want to see, you can see it. Yes.
Mule training DB.
Mule.
Training DB.
Okay. What is this effects means here?
Function.
Expression mode, data view expression mode, right? As of now, I'm hard coding these values. If you want, you can test the connection.
Yeah, you can keep them in the global configuration, right? And then fetch from there.
I will tell. You are in a hurry. Wait. We'll go in a sequence. I think Shrikant, you already completed this course earlier.
Not really. I was learning by myself.
Please give chance to others also to learn. See, I connected with the database. Is it active now? The connection what I created, can I use the same connection for other flows as well? Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Because of global
Yes.
dimensions, it is added as a global element, global configuration, right? Now, what is the query? First query I want to write. I want to fetch the details from the database. What is the query? Correct. SQL query text.
Select star from
Select star from.
Mule training DB dot product.
I already configured in that configuration, right? Not required to specify mule training DB again. So we can give directly product. Save it. So what is the output of this select connection here? Select connector. If I run this application, what will be the payload? Yes. Okay. Normally, if you write here, select start from product, what are the details I'm getting here? Yes, guys.
The
Well,
table with the details.
once I file a query, select start from product, what is the output we are going to get?
Products.
It's a
Because I
string
didn't have to stop. You can convey, you can participate.
It's a string type.
String type. No. Where it is string?
All products.
All product details it will give, right? In database, every row will be calculated as an, it will be considered as an, every row is a record.
Record.
What do you mean by record? Record means one object. It's a object, right? So basically you are going to get a result set. Yes or no? You are going to get a result set. Now we cannot display that result set to the client, right? So I want to convert that result set array, basically array of objects. I want to convert that array of objects into some readable format. By what you can convert from one format to another format?
Transformer.
Transform message. So if I use this transform message here, what will be the input for this transform right now? Now you are able to see array of objects.
Array of objects.
So see, did I deploy this application? Why? How my transformer is able to show this product ID, all these things? How? Array of objects, how it is able to see? How it able to show? What is the technology it is using internally? It is a data sense. What is the data sense? It will sense the data from the previous component. There are few components which will sense the data. So that is the data sense technology. You might have observed data sense errors when you are running your program, right? Because of your RAM size,
bottom right corner.
bottom right corner, you might have seen data sense error. What do you mean by that? Sometimes if RAM is slow, or if it is RAM is 8 GB or like that, it will it will be loading that all the data metadata of your application. At that point of time, if it is timed out, it will show some like the data sense error. Don't worry about the data sense errors. Please go ahead and deploy your application. Don't wait for that, right? Only at the compile time it will give some errors. While deploy, my mule runtime will take care of that. Got it? Now I am getting some input as an array of objects. So I want to convert into some readable format like a JSON, as a JSON object. So what I want to convert? What I want to convert? What is the body I can write here?
Payload dot body.
Payload only. What dot payload? We don't have anything in that, right? If I want to see all the data, payload, entire payload I want to convert into JSON. So what is the output you are expecting? Which format?
JSON.
JSON.
JSON format. In that JSON, what it contains?
Keys and values.
Every record is an object. It is a JSON object, right? JSON object contains what? Yesterday we have seen in the REST API, right? What is the output format in JSON? Every object is nothing but a JSON object now. Every record. So what? Tell me. I'm waiting for your responses. If you have multiple products, is it not an array?
Yes.
Yes.
JSON array. JSON array contains elements. Each element of type of what here? Object. JSON object. I'm not talking much about the transformer because we have a separate session on that. I mean, 2 sessions we are going to talk about only on a transformer, how to write a transformation logic. That's why I'm just telling the header and the body part. Okay, many things we can do in the body, right? All these things we'll discuss later. So let me deploy this application now. What you are able to see on the body as a JSON array. So is it not an array? Yes, which contains product details, right? How many product details? Total I have 7 product details, right? Now every product is having some brand name. I assume that there is a brand name. I want to filter the product based on a brand name. How? This is the requirement. This is the requirement. My client is giving, this is the request. How? Where I can write that? Of course, in the database only we need to write the query. Where? In the SQL query.
If
What is the query in order to filter based on a brand name?
Where we can add where condition.
Can I use a where clause?
Yes. Where?
Where? Where?
product name,
Product name.
no name,
Purposefully, say, purposefully I misread it to your postman. Is it a product name I need to take or a brand name?
name,
It is
Brand
the
name.
column name. It is the brand underscore name. Okay, address should be. So you need to
Where
give address.
brand name is equal to HP.
Brand underscore name is equal to.
HP.
If
You
I
can
hot put
pass
the value,
that
is it a good code?
attribute dot
attributes
UI.
dot
Attributes dot
query
param.
Query params and the name.
Very good.
Brand
Attributes
name.
dot query params. But that attributes, is it a data view expression? Am I writing any data view expression here?
No, no.
So what to
You
do?
can pass it in the input
Into
parameters.
Okay.
We can
we can
How?
fetch that into a variable.
Yes,
and we can
exactly.
add the query
How?
here.
Exactly. How to give a placeholder variable, anything we can name it, right? So how to give a placeholder here? What is syntax in data in the database to give variable colon variable name? I'm just giving a b name as a variable, right? Save it. So click on this input parameters expression mode, right? Click on this graphic view. Automatically my data sense, what it will do, it will fetch the output variable name what I defined there. So from where I can get this HP value? From the
Variable.
query parameters, right?
Params.
So input for this is attributes, HTTP attributes. So for that I have a query parameter, or else I will write it. Can you please guide me how to write it manually instead of mapping?
Output
Percentage DW
DW 2.0.
2.0.
I will not write this. Is it going to throw any error?
no.
No.
No, it's an optional.
Yeah.
So this is the structure actually, right? In that
Yep.
what I required,
B name
B name equal to
equal to
Name colon
attribute
not
dot.
equal to, it's a
Oh,
colon.
sorry,
attributes,
colon.
Yeah,
attributes dot query params dot
product name.
do I need to write as string?
Not needed.
Yes, by default it's not.
Why not read it? Previously we have written, right?
They're not concatenated in any string.
You're not concatenating with a string. Very good. So just save this application. Let's see. Let me give a input. Yeah. Why? Okay, still it is getting deployed with the changes. Am I getting output here? Only HP products.
Yes.
So I'm able
Yes.
to write the filter logic inside this operation, right?
Yes.
Now go to the configuration XML and observe. I will give 2 minutes. Please understand. If you have any queries, ask me in this. How many global elements I have here?
2.
2, 2, 3. Yeah, any questions here? Yes, any questions? So this is the HTTP listener and this is the database configuration, right? Now, this is the flow which I'm using a listener, which is pointing to HTTP listener config, and I'm using a select operation. In that, I'm connecting to the database config where it contains the credentials. And inside that, I'm using a SQL, right, to write a query. And I'm setting some input parameters by using a what expression? This is a data view expression that will be passed, and that value will be passed to the v name in this, right? And I use a transformer to convert that into JSON format. Okay, now I will export this application out of a studio. I'm going to export this application out of a studio. What type of file we are going to get here?
jar file.
jar file.
Okay, it's a jar file. Very good. What is the application name? 01 database endpoint start project. It's a jar file. Now, assume I have two environments. One is development environment. One is production environment. In the development environment, I have a database. In the production environment also, we have a database, right? Now, if I deploy this application onto the development environment, it will take the values from the development database. If I deploy this application on the production environment, it will take the data from the which database? Development, production, prod or dev. Prod or dev.
Production.
Huh? Prod or dev.
It takes data from dev, but it should take it from prod.
Why? What is the reason? Why it is taking from the dev?
Because we established.
Because we have configured
Complete the statement. What is the values we have given here? Host, user, password in my application. What are the values I have given here? Which are related to development environment. So host is a local host, username is root, password is root, which are pointing to development database. So we cannot, if you hardcode the values, we cannot migrate between the environments. So what is an idea? What is an idea? What we can do? I think Srikanth, you told earlier the answer.
Maybe we have to create some global element.
Perfect. Global, not a global element. We will call that as some property file.
Property
For
file
every
for
environment.
each environment.
Huh? For every environment, we will create one file. It could be a property file or a YAML file. In Mule 4, they are allowing a YAML files. Previously, it was only property file. Right? What is the difference between a property file and YAML file? In the property file, you need to add a parent for every child, right? Here, just you write a parent, and the child will be having a two spaces as a delimiters, and you can write a child key, host, user, password, right? And here also, production environment also, DB is a parent, host is the two spaces. See, in YAML file, every line will be having a two spaces as a delimiters to maintain the parent and child combination. DB host, user, password. If you want to retrieve the data, db.host, db.user, db.password. Right? In a property file, you need to write a db for all parent and child combination. That is one of the major difference. Now I am going to create a YAML file, right? and I will follow some naming conventions. I will give the name as db-dev.yaml file. Here db-prod.yaml file. Okay, two files I created at my application. Under the resources, I'm going to place these two files in my application. Okay, now see, my Mule runtime is nothing but a Java application. Agree? Whatever you are creating here, all are Java applications. Yes or no?
Yes.
If you want to pass any runtime argument, first of all, what is the command to run any Java class?
Java -d.
No. Okay, first tell me what is the command to run a class? Java class file name, right? If you want to pass any runtime arguments for that class, what we can do? What is syntax?
Java -d.
Key and the value. Value we can pass dynamically while runtime, right? So for that corresponding key, we need to configure at my application level. Okay. While runtime in the arguments, runtime that say those runtime arguments can be called environment arguments, runtime arguments as well. Both are same, right? So how to pass that environment variables? Where I need to configure. See here, this host name, username, and password, where this values to be replaced in the database configuration at your application level. Instead of hard coding the value, just give some placeholder. In Mule, to give a placeholder, this is a syntax: dollar curly brace, dollar curly brace. This is the syntax to give a placeholder. In that, you need to write a property. That means the db host, db user, db password. Right? This is what you need to give. So corresponding values I got in the file. Right? How the values will be fetched? Yes, how the file values will be fetched? You need to configure. Since you are given as a placeholder, once you specified while runtime this file to be taken, these values will be fetched automatically to your database configuration. So how my runtime will understand that we are going to pass the runtime argument for this application? Yeah, you need to configure one global element in your application. That is nothing but a configuration properties. The global element name is configuration properties. In that configuration property, it will ask for the file name, which file to be picked up. There you can give the file name, but where there is a dev, just give a placeholder over there again, okay, with some key. That is this key, right? While passing the runtime, -d, whatever the key you have given in the configuration property, that key and value will be passed through the runtime argument, right? Finally, if you pass value as dev while deploying, it will fetch db-dev.yaml file or else db-prod.yaml file. Based on what is the value you are passing, the file will be fetched. So it is nothing but what is the concept name? Yeah, what is this? Externalization, right? Why we use this externalization concept? To migrate between the environments. Understood theoretically? What are the steps involved? First, we need to create a file. Then you need to give a placeholder at an application level, in the database configuration level. Next, we need to configure the configuration property to fetch the file name, right? Then, then while runtime, you need to pass the value for that file. Understood? Not understood? Response, please.
Yeah, understood the concept, but when we try by our own, then maybe
I am just asking about theoretically understood the concept.
yes.
Yes, we did.
Let me show you practical. Practical, I didn't, still I have not shown, right? I'll show that. Basically, what we are going to do, hope you got the point. No response at all. Today, what happened? I don't know.
Yeah, first we need to create the YAML files under the properties or
For this,
resources.
for this externalization, I have one more project. Let me import that. Why I'm using two different projects, you'll come to know in the domains. So where I stopped in the database endpoint start project, from there on I'm going to start in the 02 externalization start. So whenever you are using a predefined project, please ensure that check all the configurations what we designed earlier. So I have given already the code here, 02 externalization. Yeah, here we have a listener, which is pointing to DB. Next, the select operation. That means just check the configurations here, database configuration. MySQL, what is the version I'm using? 5. When I'm designing, it is 5. Modify Maven dependency. Can I change from here? Right? Localhost 3306 root username and password. Let it be hard coded. Right? Next, what is the query I have written in the inside that select operation? Let me show you that as a
Select star from product.
star from product only. I'm not writing any filter logic. Simple logic. Whatever it is there, I'm just converting into JSON format. Okay. Now, what to do? I need to create one specific file. Under the resources, right click on the new file. What type of file? I said I will follow some naming conventions. First, I will create a dev file. db hyphen dev dot YAML. Extension is YAML. YAML means at another markup language, which contains parent and child. Suppose let me give the parent as db colon. Enter. 2 spaces as the delimiters or a tab you can use. 1, 2. What is the host?
Localhost.
Localhost. User.
Root.
Password.
Root.
While typing, please be careful. Save it. Right? I'm just externalizing only these three. You can externalize the port number and the schema name also. Okay, for simplicity, I'm using 3 options only. So, right, let me create one more. I'm just duplicating this file. Of course, I don't have a production environment. prod.yaml file. So in this prod.yaml also I have same configuration. Let me change the host to prod. Okay, just to differentiate between these two. I have 2 environment specific files. What is the next step? Yeah, what is the next step? I need to configure the the database configuration. I need to give a placeholders, right, to fetch the details from the file. What is the placeholder? What is the syntax to give a placeholder?
Dollar curly braces.
Dollar curly braces. And what is the property? DB is the parent. Dot host. Root. Username. Same. DB dot user. Here, everyone on silent today. DB dot password. DB dot password. Right? Click on OK. Now, what is the next step? First one, second one, and third one is what? We need to configure the configuration property. Why it is showing some error? Okay, ignore that message. That's not an issue. Let me cross check all this. You need to give the same address how we have created. So go to the global element and click on create configuration properties. So it will ask for the file name. Let me give db-dev.yaml. Now go to the configuration XML and observe what are the changes I have done. See, in this database configuration, I have given a placeholders in the host, user, and password. Right? See, this XML in the message flow, it is throwing some error. Now it is updated actually. If it is throwing an error, and if you want to really know whether we have an error in this application or not, just check in the configuration XML. This is the main file. If you see any error here, then treat that as an error. Otherwise, please go ahead and deploy. Sometimes behind the scenes, because of the data sense issue, it will show like that. Now when I go to the message flow, automatically it is updated without error. So that is the reason. Don't get panic if you get any error in the message flow tab. If you're confident enough that you are writing correct, please go ahead and check in the configuration XML. If there is no error, please go ahead. Okay, db.host, db.user, and db.password. And what is the additional configuration I have done here? Configuration properties, right? Configuration properties, and it is pointing to which file?
db-dev.yaml.
Yeah, if I deploy this application, always it will point to which database? Dev database, because we have hard-coded this value. Now I don't want that. I want to pass the environment variable at that. I mean, while passing the environment variable, based on the value, it should pick the values from the dev file or a prod file. So what to do? Yeah, what to do? Instead of hard-coding this value, why can't I give a placeholder again to pass the environment variable? So I just give some variable name. I'm just giving a myenv, some standards. Myenv is the variable. So how to deploy this application? Right click. Is it run the project? No. What we need to do, if you want to pass any runtime arguments, right click on the project, run as mule application configure. Well, which project I want to deploy? 0 to externalizing start project, and I want to pass the arguments. So what is the arguments I need to pass? Yeah, what is syntax to pass the runtime argument? Is it not? -d key. What is the key I have given over there? myenv equal to, I want to pass dev. So if I click on run application, guys are able to follow me what I am doing? Yes, no?
Yes, Sudhir.
Yes, Sujit.
Yeah. Is it deployed now? Externalizing start project got deployed. Can I give a request? Why I'm getting all the products here, not only HP? It is ignoring the query parameters because the query what I have written over there, select star from product only, right? Simple query I have written, right? So the basically the point is it able to take the values from the dev file dynamically? If you observe the configuration XML, whenever I run the application, it is taking the parameters from the dev file. db-dev.yaml file will be read. Understood the concept here? What I am doing? How to externalize to a specific environment? Yes, no? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, if anyone having this project, okay, if anyone having this project, of course I have hard coded, instead of hard coded values, I just given the placeholder, dynamically I'm getting the value into this host username and password. But if anyone open this dev.yaml file, are they able to see the credentials of my database? In my project I configured this, right? Now I don't want that. I want to secure these properties. How we can secure these properties? Secure means basically encryption. How I can encrypt these properties? Basically again, how we can mask these values. That we will discuss in the next session. How to secure your property file. Now go to the lab section and use the database endpoint start project. That means we have a with 06 we have a two files, 06 endpoint and externalization. In externalization, please go till step 3 only. Okay, don't go with the step 3. Before the step 3 you stop it. Okay, step 3 is about a securing. You can observe the documentation. If you see every line whatever I discuss now, it is every line it is documented with the screenshots. If you can observe, that's why I said first to watch the video, keep that knowledge, and by using this document please practice, so it will help. Okay, you also can now open your document and see here 02 externalization. My system becomes slow today. Yeah, this is the screenshots whatever I have done. See here I have externalized to some other port number and database also. You can do that. Like that I have given a username and password, configuration properties, all these things we have done, right? I have given a screenshot to you. You just practice. Where you practice here till step 3. Step 3 is about a what do you call this is a securing. How to secure your property file by using a tool called secure properties config. What is that and how to download that from the web application? All these things we'll discuss in our next session. Okay, that's all from my end for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujit.